All right, I've had this sit overnight and I was overthinking what color to paint this area. I even thought about putting a big sunflower over here to show the proportions of the bird, but no, I'll just leave that for another painting. I'm gonna keep this branch simple. And what I'm gonna do is mix in some lemon yellow with my tint color. To make a sort of gray-green. I'm going to dilute this a little bit. And then bring in more tint to one side. All right. And I'll be dropping in some of the colors, some of the other colors. So that's the darkish green right here. This will be the greenish tone. And just as a reminder, this is the pure tint right there. Okay. To keep things flowing smooth, I'm gonna slightly tilt my pad, just slight angle. And going with water and trying to keep things moving. Okay, this branch, this is like a dead branch. On the original reference photo, it's mostly browns. But I'm not a big fan of that color for this painting because I don't really have any browns anywhere. Okay. All right. Slightly damp. It would allow me to take my time, figure out what I'm doing. Okay. I have still a bunch of orange and this orange and tint mixture that I've had from doing the beak. Add a little bit more. And that will be the color scheme of the tree trunk. So going in first with the brown. And then pick in some of that green. Oops. More, just alternating which colors I'm picking up with my brush, so it's not boring. It's starting to dry on me. Okay. If you listen carefully, you can hear me holding my breath. Very bad habit. Am I going to use some salt for effect? If the answer is yes, that means I have to run to the kitchen. I'm going to do some dry brushing here. Okay. And going back in with a darker paint, just so it's not flat. Okay. I am gonna run and get some salt. A little bit of salt. Okay. That's plenty, and then I forgot to lighten up an area over here. Let me get this done. I don't want this hard edge. Okay, I dropped very diluted yellow, which means it's forming a cauliflower right here. You go in with more watery paint than what's on the paper. Okay. Now it does look weird to me, so I'm gonna go in with the green. Just so it's not so bright. I'm fussing. Okay, let's let this dry. The trunk or the branch just to add some texture. And also some, I'm darkening a little bit to give the illusion of shards fracturing from this main shape right here. Okay. And then we'll leave the rest to imagination. And I thought some of the um, end shapes here were too round. I'm trying to make them a little bit more jagged. And not round as much. There we go. The salt is starting to make a nice effect. So now I'm going to let it dry, and then we'll come back and do the green background. So for the background, my color study, I have it running this way, which I quite like because it's not touching any of the tint, the black areas. This like strong pigment will be so easy to lift even after the painting is done. So if I were to like touch it with water by mistake, look at this. It's reactivating so quickly. So I don't want that. And I will keep it just touching the yellow part of the bird. And to give myself some time, I will work one side and then the other side later with, what did I say? That's Prussian green. Yes, it's Daniel Smith Prussian green. And I will be dropping in the cadmium yellow deep and maybe a little bit of orange. Okay, let's see the best way to angle the painting for me. Okay, I'm gonna do it sideways and then have a slight tilt. And let's have fun with it. So starting with water. And still with my mop brush, I'm gonna pick up Prussian green. Am I holding my breath? Yes, I'm holding my breath. I'm gonna go in with my dirty color from earlier, because why not? All right, that other side is dry, so now I'm tilting it the other way to catch this other side of the bird. There's not a lot of strong light indication on this painting, but I'm just going to assume that the light is coming this way. So this side will be lighter. Okay. Again, going in with Prussian green. I'm going to soften it a little bit with the cadmium yellow. I'm just trying to get some organic shapes in here. I don't like these big blobs of green down here, so I'm going to get rid of them. Okay. Okay, while that's all still very wet, I'm gonna drop in more colors. Some cadmium yellow. And at this point, I want this to dry flat. So I'll remove a little support thing and let everything flow nicely. This is too yellow. Gonna drop in some maybe green. Okay, and soften some of these hard edges with water. These right here dried a little bit too dark. Perfect. I'm not crazy about this white spot. Let me cover it in green. Maybe a hint of green.